Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Aaron Trevino here, and we have two wonderful guests. We have Daniel and Anthony from Hivemind. How's it going?
Pretty good, man. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, it's a good Tuesday.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I know this has been the works for a little bit, and I'm pretty happy to connect with you guys. So glad we could make this happen.
Yeah, same here, bud.
Glad we're happy to be here for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those of us who aren't too familiar with you, would you introduce yourself, please?
So I'm Daniel Martinez. I am part owner of co-founder of Hivemind, and I also own a data skip tracing company that we can pull leads anywhere in the U.S. Hivemind is more of a automation tool to systemize and automate your business, no matter if you're in real estate or not.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I know it's probably pretty self-explanatory, but when you say automation, could you kind of describe maybe what automation is in this context and why it's important?
It can relieve pressure off of your personal self, depending on how much you run in your business. So with our websites and automated campaigns, you can systematize your business and lead flow. That way you don't miss leads that you're not following up with. You can have your system do it for you.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. And I'm curious, how did have you always sort of been in this technology space? Because it kind of seems like, I guess, merging these two worlds are kind of different, right?
So I kind of do the back end data stuff, and Anthony more does the real estate side. I do real estate itself as well, but Anthony can kind of go over like more of the real estate stuff. Like I said, I do the back end for the CRM system itself, and I do own a data company as well. So I do all that stuff, and then Anthony more does the real estate side, and I consult with him because he's really good at negotiations.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So I'm curious as well, was there any particular, kind of big moment for you, aha moment when you realized, hey, this is the product that we need to work on, or how did this idea come up?
Yep. So my name is Anthony Gaona. I'm here in San Antonio, Texas. I'm a farm and ranch investor. I invest all over Texas. So we handle larger parcels of vacant land. Sometimes they have houses and mobile homes, but we look for unrestricted land and we just buy and resell. So we're not doing any type of development right now. So we've had some pretty decent success over, the course of the last going on 2.5 years. All across the state of Texas. So, when everybody talks about scale online, it's a buzzword that's going around right now. Doesn't do a whole lot for me, but I've been thinking that if we could, because we've been basically low volume, but, bigger deals. So now we're thinking that we would like to be able to do more of these types of transactions all across the country, because if you market across, a larger landmass, your marketing costs drop significantly. But the challenge that we face is, some of these properties are in these areas where we're not too familiar with. So we didn't know what that would look like if we're generating leads in markets that we're not familiar with. It's a lot of shooting in the dark, no local boots on the ground. I know there's ways to modify that, like, Craigslist and different companies now that are offering services to real estate investors. But we thought, instead of us building a vertically integrated company with our own, internal call center and acquisitions teams and just starting to carry a lot of overhead and responsibility, we decided that we would like to make partnerships, in other cities. So we thought, what if we could identify one major player for each U.S. city, and then, build a team around that person and then drive leads to them so that we can try to duplicate this exact same strategy all over the country, essentially making clones of ourselves. So that was a grander vision. How can we keep a team together? How can we help these people be successful, right? That we're building a team around and driving high volume leads to. So we kind of were just thinking about that. Well, that's how we came up with the idea of a CRM. So if we had a common CRM, we could record everybody's conversations and text messages, watch what they're doing in real time, and help them with the negotiations, closing, funding, of these different types of transactions. So that's how we came up with the CRM as a product. So we can just make sure that whoever we're driving leads to, whoever we're negotiating for, whoever we're helping find funding for, that we have a good understanding of the parcels, where they are, how the sales process is going. And then we can kind of see when we can intercede and help them negotiate and close those deals and get them funded and ultimately make more profit together as a team all across the country. So that's why we called it Hivemind. It's going to be, a large body of tons of different people working on the same common goal.
Yeah, and that's definitely a great name for it, Anthony. Is Hivemind. It sounds like it's kind of a one-stop shop in a way, but also kind of collaborative too, right?
Yeah, that's the goal. Is that the hive mind knows everything, and the hive mind is omnipresent, right? It's in all markets, and whatever I don't know, Daniel knows, right? That's how we work so well together. And if we can identify other people in other markets, which we're finding now, is that somebody knows something that you don't know. So when you combine the minds of hundreds and then thousands and then tens of thousands of people, the hive mind knows everything. There's no resources that we will lack.
Yeah, absolutely. And you brought up a really interesting point earlier, talking about kind of scaling up. It kind of seems like you could even turn on social media on your phone, and you're going to have someone talking about scaling up, right? And it's one thing to do deals in your own market, or your own backyard, but it can be scary for people entering new markets where you said they have no idea what things are like.
Yep, that was exactly the whole idea behind it, is that we can be now in any market, and it's been working phenomenally. We've have less than 60 days into the business, and one of our guys from Massachusetts shot me a lead here in San Antonio. I was on site within hours. Somebody sent me a lead from California. I was on site within hours. So now we're starting to be able to cross market, send stuff back and forth all across the country, where you otherwise get a lead in a different city or state, and then somebody might consider that a dead lead. We're going to make sure that we monetize every single lead, and so we can all count on each other, lean on each other, and help each other do more deals.
Yeah, absolutely. And it almost sounds, in a way, it sounds counterintuitive, right? For someone who's not really familiar with Hivemind or familiar with these sort of concepts, it sounds strange hearing that someone from the East Coast is giving you, a lead in your own backyard.
It's one of the collaborative efforts that we're almost immortalizing in our culture, is that everybody has weaknesses and strengths that you can leverage, and that includes your even location wise. If you have a deal somewhere else, if some behind another Hive user can go take pictures, can find comps, has a buyer ready for that deal, it saves you from trying to network and find your own buyers. It gives you exponential network just by people and then you can leverage that 100% in our system.
Yep. Today, somebody sent me a lead for a land deal in LA, Central LA. And we do have a partner in LA. So I shot it straight over to her, and now her and her team are analyzing. So I kind of like the idea of being omnipresent, as a marketer, because I know how much time, energy, money, resources can be wasted on marketing if you're not fully monetizing all of the leads that come through, not just some of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And, one, I guess, phrase you used earlier was also, kind of, shooting in the dark, right? Where maybe you're entering a new market, maybe you're implementing some sort of new marketing strategy, and, maybe it's draining a lot of your money. Whereas with this, it kind of streamlines the process and cuts the fat out.
Yeah, I'll give you one example this week as well. I didn't take a screenshot of it, but one of my partners in Austin actually posted a house that he had for sale over by Tesla. And I sent it out to one of my contacts, and I had it sold probably in about 10, 15 minutes after seeing his stories. So I just immediately texted him and said, hey, that house is sold. Please take that ad down, take that post down. So that's the power of having people in all markets, is that you can move within minutes and hours when it might take somebody else days or weeks to act on a particular property.
Yeah, no, and it's so interesting as well, kind of seeing how the two worlds of real estate and tech are kind of colliding. Because if anything, people would poke fun at the real estate industry, kind of saying it's slow, it's old, it's the most technologically antiquated. But in this sense, it's not the case.
So one thing our system does is it gives the ability for short-term gains as far as monthly revenue, and it also gives long-term gains as far as the real estate cycle, like you said, of real estate itself. Because usually a real estate sale can last 30 to 90 days. Sometimes you might move it in a week or so. It really depends on the property itself. So one thing is when you combine real estate and software, you can now shorten that life cycle and blend in the two together. And it definitely gives you a leverage up, because you always have, like, one thing, like, as far as we're pertaining to, is that we offer our affiliates that share the Hivemind with other users $40 per month per user for any signups they get. So if any users get other users, right now we have free users that never have to pay for their tools of Hivemind ever again, which is huge because imagine never paying for all your automation tools to do marketing. Or what if your marketing company or marketing tools actually paid for your marketing? Now you're actually getting paid to find real estate deals, and there's no other company like that. So with us, we're kind of combining the two together where you can actually leverage your network, leverage our network, leverage Anthony's network, and get paid monthly to actually get paid to find deals.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's and that in itself is kind of a mindset shift, right? Because again, it sounds counterintuitive. It sounds like you're getting paid to find your own deals, right?
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it. So I hear guys that get on Clubhouse, some of the gurus, and they say, yeah, my marketing budget is, 20 grand a month and 50 grand a month and 100 grand a month. And they're pretty proud of it. They're doing very, very well. So obviously it's working. But with the Hivemind, the bigger your infrastructure gets, let's say you bring, 40 people or 400 people for that matter, onto your CRM as an affiliate. Now you're making several $1,000s a month profit. And all these people are working to bring you leads to help, collaborate and take deals down, which effectively makes your marketing budget zero. And not only that, you're also in profit while you get deals. Now you're getting free leads across the country and you're getting paid for it. So what that allows you to do is it allows you to scale infinitely. With every other business model, you have to scale according to your marketing spend, and that's the biggest driver for your KPIs to see how your company is performing. But with Hive, it allows you to scale infinitely, literally, because the bigger your team gets, the more profit you're going to make.
Yeah, absolutely. And you touched on something interesting as well, was talking about, the marketing spend, the KPIs, and you looked at it through a positive lens in the sense of, hey, you're spending a lot of money. Maybe you're making a lot of money. What about on the other end of the spectrum? What about maybe I'm leading a team, a sales team. I'm trying to get everyone out there. I'm spending a lot of money, but it's not working out. Maybe what are a few mistakes you think that people make when trying to develop a marketing strategy?
For one, leads go wasted, right? So you need some kind of system, whether that's Hivemind, Podio, anything that's out there. There's free stuff that's out there. You need something to help you streamline your marketing, because if every marketing dollar and penny is not accounted for, if deals are not being followed up with and worked properly, then you're going to lose money on that regard. And then you figure, well, maybe I'll throw more money at it. I'll get more acquisitions, guys, when you're not properly tracking, the amount, the volume that you're doing right now with your marketing and deals closed. So that's a huge mistake in the very beginning. I think second is having the mindset of, well, I'm making more money, so now I'm going to throw more money at my company so that I can get a higher return. And I think that's an old, outdated technology where, like I said, with something with Hivemind, the bigger your team gets, the more profit you make. So I think it completely turns the game on its head. It's super, super low risk. It's very rewarding. And I think we're really going to change the game. We're going to spread fast. And it's going pretty viral right now with the amount of users that we're getting without any advertising. So I think the model is already proving itself in that regard, that you don't need to throw more money at something for it to be able to scale.
The other thing is you can leverage people versus an employee. When you hire an employee or a VA, you have to deal with employee mindset too. They literally work for 8 hours, they clock out, and they're done. When you have, for us, we'd rather have thousands of partners, because partners are going to pull their own weight as long as they get equity. So for us, we'd rather leverage and work with partners versus working with employees, because it's a totally different mindset shift. You're going to get a different type of result from the work they actually do if they're partners versus employees. So for us, we'd rather build out vertically than down or up, whatever direction you want to go and build.
Yes. So essentially what we're doing is we're more focused on the speed of connection, right? So there's some people that they're software-based first mentality. So there's people with a similar business model. I'm not going to use any names, but there's some of the big guys right now. And they're building a similar networking system throughout the United States, but their barrier of entry is $10,000. Our barrier of entry is $99, because we value the speed of connection more than we're valuing the upfront profit, because we can see that building the human chain is going to prove to be more valuable than the real estate itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that ties into it, like the $5,000 to $10,000 entry point to get into that network. Ours is only $99, and we can leverage my connections and Anthony's connections. and us two alone, plus all the connections a part of it. You have it just by joining the Hivemind. You get infinite supply of connections, no matter what you need or what niche you're in.
Yeah, I think that's where a business would rely more now on the technology side of things through marketing and networking, digital, keeping track of everything, these auto follow-ups and these auto sequences. And it does move us away from more of the analog world, right? So in a traditional real estate environment, even amongst some of the bigger hedge funds and these types of guys, they raise a certain amount of capital, they move it into real estate, to look to sell at a future date, maybe 3 to 7 years or something like that. With the Hivemind, we focus on larger deals and we focus on creative strategies where we can get into properties for nothing out of pocket. So that's what we're looking at now, is that not only do we have a unique product, but we also have a very unique niche that we're after in real estate. And also we look to take it down with a very unique, strategy. So I think there's a lot that separates what we're doing from everybody else that kind of really changes the game as far as like the way people think about traditional real estate. Like you said, it's just kind of old and outdated technologies.
Definitely. And you touched on something interesting as well. You talked about, getting into deals with no money, right? Could you kind of expand on that a bit more?
Yeah, so I've had a roofing company, for the last maybe 7 or 8 years, been in construction my whole life. I'm a licensed home builder and general contractor. And we always kind of gravitated towards these larger projects, right? So a lot of my friends are wealthy roofers. They all do homes, they all do houses. And I've always done commercial since I started. I started in roofing and commercial. So you take an average profit from a house, somewhere between $1,000 and $5,000, maybe even as high as 10. Where some of the commercial projects that we've worked on, your average low end profit is somewhere between 50 and 100,000. So I take that same approach when it comes to real estate, is that we're looking for deals where the property can pretty much pay for itself, right? So let's say you take a single family residential or a half-acre lot in a residential neighborhood, and the total value there is somewhere between $50 to, $250,000. Where with a farm and ranch property, you could pick something up that's worth $500,000, $1 million, 2 million, 2.4, one of the ones that we have a verbal agreement on right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to section some of this stuff up, and I'm going to find multiple buyers, new buyers, to help fund not only the down payment, but also the acquisition price. So one of two things happens on the back end. I end up with a lot of free real estate, or I end up doing a deal where I make a lot of profit and I'm never reaching into my own pocket or talking to any lenders or private money guys or any banks or anybody else. Nobody has to give me permission to run our business model.
Yeah, absolutely. And you touched on something interesting as well, as, you don't have to ask permission, for your own business model. Why do you think we're seeing this now in 2021? What makes this, a unique product right now, or why do you think other products aren't similar to this one?
I think all CRMs are identical. I think they're all the same. They have the basic same functionality. What we're looking for with a Hivemind is we're looking for full automation. So we want you to be able to run your real estate company without ever touching it. I personally myself have not touched my own CRM until since early February, and my company is running itself. However, I do love negotiations. So I am still getting on the phone to negotiate both with buyers and sellers. Another thing, like I said, is that we're in a very niche product. We're going after land, which nobody's looking at, nobody's focused on. They're big deals. So what it might take you to do with 5, 10, or 20 houses, we're able to do with a single transaction. And then right now, I think wholesaling is going viral. So there's more people coming into the space quickly that need training. So we're immediately going to train these people to find these bigger deals. And we're going to teach them these creative strategies that are just going viral as well now too. I'm sure it's been around since the beginning of time, but now a lot of these people are looking more at creative, like it's some kind of magic pill. But that's where Daniel and I started in real estate. We started with creative, and we started with larger parcels. So it's just a perfect storm of a bunch of unique opportunities that really, I think it sets us apart from what we're doing. Because even if you copied one, even if you copied the CRM, even if you went after land, or even if your focus is on creative, it's just the size of deals that we're doing and the way that we're attracting people so quickly into what we're doing. So it's just, like I said, it's just a perfect storm of everything that's happening in the real estate community right now. And I think the timing couldn't be better for a company like Hivemind.
It gives you an opportunity to leverage large assets with little money up front. And I think that's the key, because when you're actually going out and purchasing these properties outright or flipping them, whatever, you have to bring a lot of capital into the mix, hard money loan, either your own capital, private money. You have to bring a lot of capital up front. Like I said, Anthony and I have done deals where we're bringing less than $5,000 up front, and you can control the property just for that. and you can essentially leverage that fractional $5,000 and leverage a huge asset.
Yeah, one of the notable deals that I did, we closed in December, and the person is still making payments on it now. But from the buy to the sell price, I locked up a deal with $2,000, and total profit on that deal, not including 5% interest, is $155,000. And the buyer has a year to pay it off. So if you think about creative strategies like that, no matter what you would buy, pay for a mastermind, if you paid for anything, like I haven't seen anybody do those kinds of numbers yet. And I'm sure they're out there doing it, especially like in California where the numbers are higher. Austin's heading there. But like I said, this is our starting point. This is what we're starting with at the very, very beginning. So I think we have a very bright future. And for the people that, come and kind of copy some of these strategies, I can see a lot bigger deals and better deals coming than that.
So we were on a call with another person earlier last week, and they're talking about how the only place to get a 6-figure wholesale fee is in California, which is true, but you got to switch asset classes and larger assets, and you can do the same thing. So we have the opportunity to do large land deals. You can make six-figure spreads, and we're not in California.
Yeah, and this is just in Texas, right? So this is farm and ranch. It's only one industry. We have one that we just recently signed where we're looking to make somewhere between 400 and 600 on that one deal. So again, this is to me, this is a very, very small level that we're playing at because it's just farm and ranch. So I think moving into the commercial space where you could do 7 figures or multiple 7 figures on one transaction, we can easily duplicate that strategy to infinity. So once we get that part of it figured out, we connect with the right people out there that are doing commercial ground up development, we can start to lock up those types of tracks all over the country. So we're really excited about where this is headed.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's definitely a lot to be excited about, right? And it's interesting as well because when someone says the words real estate, they just kind of assume, oh well, it's buying and selling, right? It's pretty cut and dry. But it seems like there's so many other creative strategies that people don't know about.
And I feel like exactly what we're doing is we're watching the rest of the real estate market. And I think it was a blessing for Daniel and myself to not have a real estate background because we kind of didn't know how the market works, right? And in the traditional sense, somebody goes and they get a loan, private money, hard money, or they have cash they saved up their whole entire life and they use that to do real estate transactions. So it's a very slow moving process to amass that much wealth to be able to move it and recycle it back into the real estate ecosystem. But what we're doing as professional marketers and with the online technology space is we are turning pennies right through our marketing efforts into really big deals. So it's like we're kind of almost turning a digital space, which is like online traffic, the way that online traffic moves, whether that's on Facebook, Google, and these other mediums. We're turning pennies from the digital space into like the analog world. So we're turning very, very small amounts of money into large real estate assets. So like I said, I think that gives us another edge to be able to scale infinitely with very, very small out-of-pocket and upfront costs.
Yeah, absolutely. And it seems like it's kind of going contrary to what people define as leverage. Why do you think that people see leverage in a different way?
People are not paying attention to digital real estate. So people that have been in real estate, it's kind of a gift and a curse. I say, I wish I got into this business a long time ago, but people that have been in the business for a long time, they see it the old way. And they're looking at buying physical real estate. They're looking at buying dirt, buildings, trees, houses, that kind of stuff. And that's all they can think about is the physical portion of it. But somebody like myself who has a marketing background, I've spent, the better part of the last 15 years considering that there's nobody thinking about digital real estate. And digital real estate is Facebook traffic, Google traffic, those other types of mediums that nobody's paying attention to. So we're not thinking about purchasing physical real estate. We're thinking about purchasing digital real estate and then using that and converting it into physical.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, you're kind of merging the best of two worlds.
Yep. And I think by the time people catch on, I think they're going to be pretty far behind the curve. Is that it's not really about going out there and banging on those doors and driving for dollars and grabbing those, huge land parcels, which we teach and encourage. But like I said, if you're focused on buying the digital airways first, right? So the plan for the Hive is we want to purchase pretty much all of the available Facebook traffic for real estate. And we want to purchase almost all of the Google traffic for real estate online. That's our end goal. Is we just want to completely dominate the airwaves so that we can buy and sell in all markets quicker than anybody else.
The way we do that is, like you said, if you broaden your marketing, as far as like if people target San Antonio, their cost per lead is going to be really extensive because they're targeting a certain area. But us, knowing we have a network nationwide, we can target nationwide. We can then turn any real estate deal. Our cost per lead will go down because we're hitting a larger area. The more money we throw at it, we might niche it down and get it locked down into a cheaper price point as well. And we're just targeting everywhere. You can leverage your dollar a lot better by targeting broad than narrow, should I say.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of the power of really just networking, right? I guess at least in the past 12 to 15 months, we've kind of seen where everything is going completely digital from, I guess more people using Amazon, more people collaborating through Facebook, Instagram, and it's also changing the real estate market.
Yeah, it's the power of connection, the power of network. People always complain like, oh, there's so much competition out doing it in the real estate world. There's so much competition. You can start doing deals just by networking. The power of your network. If you network with agents, probate attorneys, divorce attorneys, if you network with enough of them and you provide a good service to those people, you're going to get a deal. You're going to trip over one. One might get smacked you in the face if you're doing it long enough. And a lot of people they think, oh, I have to do 2,000 bandit signs a month to get a deal. Like, it's not even that. You're overthinking it. There's a lot simpler ways to do a deal. It's just you have to find something that works for you. If you're good at networking, start networking to get a deal. If you're good on the phone, start cold calling to get a deal. If you're good at setting up system processes, start maybe just doing SMS and RVM campaigns, maybe direct mail, depending on your budget. There's a lot of different ways to do a deal. They all work. You just have to work it.
Yeah, we thought about this as far as like business models go. Like, should we create a mastermind and teach people these strategies, right? And charge that 5 or 10,000 or 2,000 up front, and then, okay, well, no, let's skip that. So, okay, what about a CRM? Great. Maybe we should charge a hefty upfront so that we can mentor people as they come onto the platform. And then that would be like the kind of our payday, right? But again, we're less interested in making money from the software. We're really valuing the speed of connection. And I think that's probably one of the most undersold products out there is just connecting with other human beings. It's like that human connection. And we all know the old sayings, around that, but that's what we've been focusing on. And it wasn't even intentional. We didn't do it as a business strategy. We just did it like from the gut. And now as quickly as we're building organically, it's pretty exciting to see that, the community and the environment, everything we put together is starting to pay off.
Yeah, and that's what's so neat about this as well is, again, you're also kind of merging the best of both worlds, right? The digital world, but also giving people that sense of community.
I think that's what a lot of people are looking for, right? So they've watched 100 YouTube videos. They saw every single guru on YouTube and Clubhouse twice. And now what do you do when it's just you sitting alone in your living room, having never done a deal before, having never pulled a list before, more or less trying to negotiate large scale deals with creative strategies, right? So now you're really out in the middle of the island nowhere trying to figure out what to do. So as soon as you come into the Hive, we put you into the inner circle group. You have instant access to a mastermind of people who are doing mailers, cold calling, texting. Like, you have specialists in all different environments as far as the marketing world is concerned. And now you're definitely not alone. You have an instant team. So one of the girls on my team, she's just been in roughly for about 30 days now, maybe right under 30 days. Her very first deal was $1,079,400. And I'm going to try to get her no less than $100,000 fee for finding me that deal. So if you can take a person that knows nothing about real estate and have them start doing deals like if they've been in the game for years, like I said, I just think it's super special what we're doing. And it really is going to be a dominant strategy as we start to grow this thing across the country.
So for us, our biggest thing is that, yeah, there's people out there doing 10 plus deals a month, but for us, we'd rather do 1,000 because we have the infrastructure in place to do 1,000 deals a month. And I hope one day we can say we actually hit it. And that'd be insane, but I think we're going towards that direction. Maybe we're putting it out in the world as far as a goal, but you never know the capabilities as far as when you grow wide versus up. You can definitely reach unattainable goals that other people think you're nuts and crazy, and that's you're totally talking shit. No, it's really not. If you can leverage other people's time, experience, knowledge, you can go to infinite.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And it sounds like, I mean, not only with your product as well, but just with, I guess us transitioning into this new digital world, the possibilities, like you said, are infinite, right? Instead of going up, you can go out and you can get those 100 deals a month.
No, we're excited.
Yeah, absolutely. So, is there anything you haven't said thus far that you really just like to hit home?
I would say if you're out there trying to get your first deal or any deal, just work work it till it works. You got to do something. You have to put action out. If you're not doing if you're not getting a deal, it's because you're not putting enough action. Like for me personally, it took me 7 months to get my first deal. So, and I was running another business at the time, and that's why I think it took me so long. But you have to put in action. If you're not getting a deal, you're not putting enough.
Yeah, no, I highly agree. And then what I would like to say in closing is one of the, quote unquote gurus here from San Antonio, he blocked me because I was teaching other people big land strategies, and he knew it was going to get infested with wholesalers. And I told him, I said, your model is based on scarcity, and the model of the Hive is based on market oversaturation. So everything that the Hive is doing is a complete 180 from what the rest of the real estate community is doing. There's also one of the, gurus here from San Antonio who I was telling him, what my plan was. And he said, I don't know, man. I don't know if I could do that because my model, like, I'm so competitive. I'm just so competitive. And what I want to tell all the new people out there, or even if you're seasoned, is that the way moving into the future now is it's all about speed of connection. And if your model is competition, you're going to lose bad, because the most profitable asset today is going to be all about collaboration. So it's about the speed of connection right now. So if you want to race to the finish and you want to be ultra competitive, you have to make connections faster than your competition.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's definitely a lot to be said for, networking and making those connections. So, definitely hit the nail on the head there, Anthony. Maybe someone's listening right now. Maybe they haven't gotten their first deal. They're struggling to get that first deal, or maybe they've gotten a few deals and they're really looking to scale up and, put their foot on the gas. How can we get in touch with you? Where can we find you guys?
I think first things first, if they can go to a Hivemind CRM on Facebook, that's kind of our open free group. And we still help everybody on there. The community is very, very helpful there. There's no negativity in there, because if somebody gives us some kind of weird feedback, we immediately just kick them out and block them, because we're just not going to have it. We don't want them to infect the culture. So I would check us out at Hivemind CRM on Facebook. We have a YouTube channel. We're on TikTok, Instagram, anywhere that you can possibly look. We're on there. We're on LinkedIn. So yeah, if you just find Daniel or myself, like I said, we provide free coaching, free advice, free resources, whatever we can do to help anybody, whether you're in the Hive or not. We just want to see people succeed around us. Somebody messaged me this week and they said, hey man, I see you in a lot of places, a lot of chat rooms, and I always see you fanning the flames of success. So I just want to say thank you. Well, dang, okay. I didn't know anybody was watching, but there's people out there watching, and we really do want to help.
Yeah, Anthony. There's a lot to be said for that. Sometimes your biggest fans are also the most quiet too.
Yeah, amen to that. We've been seeing more and more of that. People that we didn't think were watching are starting to come on board now. And like, man, this is going to be a wild party. So yeah, we didn't know what was happening, but yeah, they're starting to come on now.
That's cool. Well, I'm excited to to see the future. I think this product is really interesting, and for me, this has been really informative. Kind of getting, I guess I would call it a counterintuitive approach, kind of breaking those misconceptions about the industry. So thank y'all so much for coming on the show.
We appreciate
you. It was a pleasure, man. As soon as I can get up to Austin, it's probably going to be, I got a house I'm closing in Del Valley this week. So I'll probably be up there Friday, Saturday, man. If you have time to grab lunch or something, that'd be super cool.
Beautiful. Let's do it. Thank
lunch
y'all
on me, man.
Yeah, thank y'all so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, brother.